Hello, it's Etharal here for EGN, and today we are back with our Stellaris Twilight of the Imperium mod, where we have been playing as the Tau Empire, looking to try and expand into this sector of space. So one thing we're going to kick off today with, we've known for a while that war was coming with the Eldar, and we have decided to do a preemptive strike. Now, this is the first time that I've actually declared a war in the Stellaris game, I will admit, so I'm just having a bit of a play around, trying to work out exactly what it is that I need to do here. So, looking around, there's quite a few options of things that we can do. You have to set your war scores and everything like that, which is feature that they have carried over from Crusader Kings 2, Europa Universalis, Hearts of Iron, all the usual Paradox games. There's nothing really all that unsurprising here. The thing that is surprising, which I did do a little bit of here messing around with, which I hadn't realised, was that the big X means that you literally cannot do it. So I will need to have a bit of a look into trying to find a way to be able to get these claims to be able to seed planets. It is quite a bit of a shame that we can't do do this without any need to be able to do it. Something similar more to the Europa Universalis way, that as you get increasing war score, it is something that these are, extra things that you're able to add on. So here we need to be having a look probably at some different options and try and see what it is that exactly we can do to try and, get a decent enough war score here. I'm still, like I say, still very much learning this aspect, the war aspect. The reason why I decided to do it now is, as you can see, we have a first fleet, which is going to be around, it's 24,000, it's not a small fleet by any stretch of the imagination. And we do have a second fleet that is going to start getting built as well. We've got our fleet up in Targon, so right by the border of the Eldars, ready to basically move into their lands pretty quickly. And then from that, we should be able to take them take them by surprise and really hit them, hopefully where it's going to hurt in one of these lands. So here our fleet does arrive at their place, and so we are going to start by basically removing as much of them as possible. Here we are just having a look around at some different technologies as well. The Tau are very much increasing in terms of technology. We've got a lot coming in. We really do need to work on the blue one, however, but the other two research branches we are doing very, very successful with. Here you can see that we have very quickly decimated that fleet. We're also going to move in and we are going to try and remove some more of their features, basically, and try and get them to the point where they are of basically no consequence to us. There you can see that battle did go very, very well. This war does go incredibly easy. We've managed to catch them by surprise. We do have a much stronger fleet than them. We do need one thing that I did discover was that we do need to actually have assault force to be able to take lands, but we'll cover that in a minute. Here you can see just how strong our fleet is. We are really just moving around and absolutely decimating them. This whole place is basically going to have to go back to day one. Here you can see there we are recruiting up forces in our different lands, the assault forces, to be able to actually assemble enough of an actual land army to be able to take them further. That is the immediate plan that we will need to do, be able to get these forces. Hopefully this was something that I hadn't quite realised that did need to do. Hopefully it should be something that we will be able to do sooner rather than later, be able to get it, so that way we're not actually going to be at disadvantage. The longer that we take to actually attack these people, it is going to be very much a case that, unfortunately, the longer that we take to attack, then we are going to see some slight problems in that, they're going to be able to build up a response to us. So I think for the next, war, we are going to need to have to look at turning some stuff around, basically, and, actually getting to a point where this assault stuff is all ready to go before we do actually begin to assault on them. Then you can see our second fleet has started off. It's only got one ship in it and it's 1,300. So these are very powerful ships that we are really commanding against them now. We are going to start to see the tides hopefully turn against them in this war. That is the plan at the minute, at least. So just having a look at this fleet, seeing, setting it up so that it's an actual full fleet. We've got 240 fleet size that we can play with, so we have got more than enough to be able to get this fleet up to not quite as respectable a force as the one that we do currently have, but still, regardless, is definitely going to be a very decent fleet nonetheless. So here, we're going to actually look at improving our, fleet size even further. We want even more ships. We would love it if we could have, two fleets at like the 25,000 mark. We're going to move in as well to be able to actually take out more of the guys. We're going to push deeper into their territory, and they are going to see a lot of problems happening. Here we are going to have to, assign, leaders to these guys to basically be able to put this fleet into, well, not this fleet, I suppose, sorry, this army into an actual attachment. That is a defense fleet though, so I'm not quite sure why it was I decided to do that one, but hey ho, that's just the way it goes, I suppose, really there. So I'll eventually will realize that though, change everything around though there. So there we go, nice and quickly there, I change around and move it onto my actual assault fleet. So this assault fleet, as we're going to start to get this army, put it all together, we now have 5 armies, so there's a lot that we can actually do with this. I mean, we would ideally like to get a little bit bigger, but we are going to embark all of these and put them all together, move them all up to Targon, which is going to be the main staging post for our little, empire's attack. We're going to try it out. I think it's safe to say that we don't have too many difficulties, and, the Eldar very much reeling from that very big fleet that has came crashing into their lands. They don't really have much, to be able to return the favour against us or anything like that. So this, I think, safe to say, war going very well, going very efficiently. If you do want to see how future wars do get more to grips with this goes, please do be sure to subscribe here at EGN, and you will get to see how this one does go as we do begin to get more comfortable and push further into the actual lands of the Eldar even. So here we're just putting all of this assault fleet together. It's up to 9 ships, so it's got a 13 strength, so it itself is not very strong, but regardless, its actual its potential to be able to take over a land is definitely there. So more than just a weak battle fleet or anything like that, there is a lot of guys going to be in that fleet that we are going to have to look at pulling all these guys together. There we go, we have now got some more people, so now it's going to be going up to, a fleet of 14 actual landing crafts to be able to bring against them. So we are going to, well, we do consider looking at landing armor. However, it does become a case that it does become apparent that we need to bombard them first. That's not too much of a problem for us. We're not really, looking at completely taking these lands as is. We're more than happy to, be able to knock them back a little bit, and then once we've got them all knocked back, then be able to land our forces. If we do decimate them, then that is not the end of the world. Decimating them at the very least, it is going to make it so that they are weaker than our fleet, and so we're not going to be in too much of a difficulty with taking them over here. As you're about to see, this actual force now does land, and you can see here, we are taking a fair bit of damage on our lands, but thankfully we do massively outnumber them, and so it does not take long before we are basically able to occupy all of this land. And there we go, we now occupy it, and so we are going to move on to the dollar system as well. Go and remind them why it is that they should not be trying, risk it against us, and actually, why they should basically bend over and take what it is we're going to do. This is the plan, at least. Like I say, I'm getting increasingly comfortable with this war setup. There is a lot more that I do need to sort of pick up with, some of the more basic ideas. I mean, there is some options that we could still get, but we're going to continue to build some more actual assault armies, so that way, as soon as we do begin to attack in some proper wars, then we're going to be, getting a lot more comfortable with everything. At least that is certainly the aim in the near future. So here you can see they have sent in a force to try and retake this land. That is not something we're going to allow, and so their 2 fleets, let's see how this war does go. They do manage to send a bit of a fleet against us. We massively outnumber them, however, and yep, there we go. They do not really last very long, so that, I think, is safe to say that that was their attempt at a response to us. We're going to have to, return the favour for that assault there and push them even further back yet again. And I think it's safe to say that these guys are basically, they're getting a fair bit of experience. The ships know certainly what they're doing now, and so we are going to begin to actually move this fleet all together to be able to attack again another planet and be able to take control of another area of the Eldar space. I think it's safe to say that, this one not going to be too much of a problem for the immediate future. I think they're going to be more worried about trying to actually take us, although we are still going to leave this second fleet there with the 2,600. That one, it is going to be in a place where it can defend. I mean, it's 2,600, so it's not going to be able to do very much, certainly if they sent another 6,000 strong fleet against us. but at the very least it will slow them down long enough so that way our big main fleet can, you know, remind them exactly why it is that they shouldn't be trying to attack us. So here we're going to move in, bombard again another planet, and watch literally as they basically pretty much cry, to be honest. I mean, they're not going to have much of another option but to actually take what it is that we're doing. We've assembled up our assault fleet again and move on to their next land. So here we are just basically continuing through, going to keep hitting them, keep driving into them, and see how it is exactly that this war does go. We've got, you know, not really much risk against them. Their planets are falling very, very quickly due to the simple size of our fleet, and we need to look at eventually capitalizing on all of this in the hopeful near future. And so these guys are going to obviously move in to attack them first though, and here we seem to have had a leader who has unfortunately passed away. That's perfectly fine. We've got plenty enough, you know, influence to be able to do that and not have to worry about it too much or anything like that one at all. So we haven't been, you know, colonizing or anything in this episode. We are mainly just entirely focusing on, right, okay, so we now need to look at assaulting these guys as much as possible. Here you can see, you know, I mean, that the amount of damage that basically we're doing. Having a look at what we can do in terms of giving a war score. We're at 17%, so we are a fair way through the war. We have managed to do enough for them to be willing to accept our, you know, terms and surrender to us, although I think that, you know, regardless, we could still always do more. And then unfortunately, so they unfortunately accept defeat. They've been humiliated and open borders against us. So unfortunately, it is a case that we now are not able to continue on with this war against them. More than a little bit annoying, but at the very least we have managed to see that the Tau Empire has proven that it is not somebody to be completely, you know, laughed at or anything like that. It can hold its own where needed. So we're going to move all of our people back and prepare and leave a little bit of a while now to prepare for an actual full-on war against them, where we are going to try and take some more lands and actual, you know, planets that are actually worth doing. That's going to be the next main focus for us. So here you can see that we're in a pretty good position now. We do have some more goals to do in the future of expanding in terms of military, although we are going to still continue on with our colonization efforts as well at the same time. So thank you very much for watching. I shall leave it there for today. Please do be sure to subscribe if you did enjoy the video, and then obviously you can get your actual notifications for when new videos are coming out. So thank you very much. I've been Etharal, and I'll see you next time here at EGN.